Hi there, it's Ron Gula from Gula Tech Adventures. Today we're going to talk about one of my favorite cybersecurity movies, The Listening. Now, a lot of times when people review cybersecurity or hacker movies, of course, you got to have movies like Hackers, talking about how it's a little bit dated but still relevant, movies like Sneakers, even movies like War Games, where Matthew Broderick has to convince an AI not to blow us up. Or I actually think with everybody talking about ChatGPT today in 2023, movies like Colossus, the Forbin Project, where Dr. Forbin has to, reason and kind of outsmart this computer called Colossus. And there's a lot of really, really cool scenes in these movies. Even though they're dated, there's actually a buffer overflow attempt in here and some really chilling AI cybersecurity stuff. But today I want to talk about The Listening. Now, The Listening is an Italian movie that came out in 2006 that deals with perhaps government oversight, perhaps government abuse of collecting too much data. I don't want to give away the whole plot of the movie. When it was released in the U.S., it was released with this sort of movie poster there called The Listening. But there's a lot of things in this movie that I think make it one of the greatest cybersecurity movies that are out there. The first thing, it starts off with a lie detector test. Now, anybody who's done cybersecurity knows what a responsibility you have and trust for the people you're protecting, because you're dealing with their email, their traffic, their network traffic. I've often said that if you're doing good network security, you're like your own NSA monitoring your network. And not only that, it's a really good representative. A lot of people think, working in the NSA is like, hanging out with UFOs and aliens and spying on people 24/7. This movie actually captures it really well. It actually starts off with a lie detector test for a government servant. Now, the second thing that this movie has is an evil contractor. And this is another really, if you want to go into cybersecurity and you actually want to work in the federal government, the Department of Defense, you're probably going to work as a contractor. Now, they're not all evil. I've actually seen some contractors do some things in this movie, such as threaten to get a government employee fired and whatnot. But in this case, the contractor here is inventing sort of a system that can spy on anybody, anywhere. And I'll just leave it at that. Now, another cool thing that happens in this movie is at one point, the protagonist convinces an auditor, a vulnerability auditor, to do a pen test back into the NSA. And I thought this was great because this has actually happened to me. I didn't actually accidentally break into the NSA, but I've been given wrong targets to try to break into, both wrong IP addresses and wrong phone numbers to war dial and whatnot. And I always thought it's a really interesting thing. And everybody who does penetration testing says they get a get out of jail card. But sometimes I really wonder who's paying for who to do these penetration tests. Another thing that this movie has is physical effects for hacking. And I think as we approach, the beginning of 2023 here, a lot of times we have ransomware groups that are being silenced. Perhaps there's some physical things going on, perhaps not as extreme as what you're seeing here in the movie. But a lot of people in cybersecurity really feel that there's no physical ramifications for what they do. And I think that's going to be changing really, really quick as the U.S. government, gets more involved with interdicting ransomware and foreign hackers and whatnot. But the last thing that I really like about this movie is that it really involves signals intelligence. And a lot of times when people talk about cybersecurity, it's packets and firewall policies and compliance and whatnot. But, as we move into, the popularity of things like phone hacking, or in today's, 2023, everybody has a flipper doing things. It's all related. And there's a lot of classic scenes in this movie where the watchers are being watched, the people doing the monitoring actually get monitored. And this is what I want people to take away. Like when you're doing cybersecurity, you never know who the bad guy is, who has access to your system. Almost every incident responder I talk to says, a lot of times the victims don't realize that the ransomware gangs are still on the network while they're conversing with email and that sort of thing. And it's this sort of mentality that I think we got to move away from cybersecurity being a checklist and compliance type of operation to more of a defending war footing type of thing. Now, if you want to get it, don't get this movie. This is The Listening. This is an interesting movie about reading brains and stuff like that. That's not the movie I'm talking about. You want to get The Listening. You want to get it on DVD. Thank you, who, for giving me a copy of this DVD here. And you can actually order it online at Amazon. It's not streamable, but I highly recommend it. And it's a little dated, but it's pretty cool. It's well before Edward Snowden, which is kind of interesting. All right, well, have fun watching The Listening. If you want to see more videos like this, you should check out our other videos, such as my top 10 hacks from Star Trek. And If you want to learn more about cybersecurity, visit us over at gula.tech or subscribe to this YouTube channel. I'm Ron Gula from Gula Tech Adventures. Thank you very much.